Now some perspective on how the people and the government in the United States are viewed in China. It comes from Lindsay Hilsum of Independent Television News. She had a conversation with a group of American Studies students at Renmin University in Beijing.
I think that the United States is trying to transport its own value like freedom, democracy to the other parts of the world, but maybe China or India or Cuba, these countries, they don't think that they have their own situations maybe not suit these values.
I think the problem is it might not suit China. So if it is such a good thing, maybe China would evolve, would have an evolution towards democracy on its own.
I think the most witty and tricky thing about American government or society is that they put personal liberty as the mainstream.
It's cute because the Americans tend to picture an American soldier on the street of Iraq and saving Iraq people from hell, and I think whenever there is a dictatorship, as someone would call it, the U.S. tend to think that it's their job to save those people, and they haven't realized that democracy is an absolute value in U.S., but it might be not that absolute in other countries.
But people would say, because you don't have real freedom of speech, and so even if you did really hate the government, you still couldn't say. What would you?
I think Chinese government did make some mistake. Liu Xiaobo, do you know? He gained the Nobel Peace Prize, but he is a prisoner in China. Yeah, I think Chinese government really did wrong.
You think they should not have put him in prison?
Yeah, I think you could force him out of China, but not into prison for what he did.
I tend to see this question a little bit differently. I think when I was in UK the past 3 months, and I see many Chinese people there. We have to face all kind of criticisms about our government, and then to people
Did you found out that you had to face all criticism about your government? How does that make you feel?
It's I think it's so unfair because I'm individual. How can you judge me by my government?
So if the 20th century was the American century, is the 21st the Chinese century?
What I am sure is that China will be striding ahead and became more and more powerful or influential than before. Yeah.
Become a superpower?
Maybe it is not a superpower.
I hate this word.
Yeah.
Why this world always we are hoping that there is one superpower, two superpowers. We don't need superpowers. Maybe just the fact is that one country is stronger than other countries, more dominant in international affairs, but that doesn't mean that it has to be a superpower. It has to coerce other countries to do things they don't like.
Power is the ability to coerce or influence others. But right now, what we see in China is only capacity, but no power. Because although China is economically now the second of gross GDP, but Chinese government is facing so many problems domestically. When others see China, they see 8% per year. But when the Chinese see itself, they see unemployment. They see inflation. They see the rising costs of households.
Yes.
So for Chinese
your view
people,
of yourselves is very different from the view from outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that it's like a real gaps between China and maybe Western countries, if you may say, because China is different. So that's why I think. Is the reason why America is so anti-China, some opinions, because it's different.
Churchill said, I don't know if it's his exact words, but he said democracy might not be the best thing, but it's the best choice so far. And also for China, Chinese government, the political structure of Chinese government might not be the best thing, but is the best thing for China, and we don't see any possible alternatives to the current government. So of course we will support it because it is the stabilizer, it is the protector of this country. It is so vast that it's embedded with problems, with conflicts, and we're just lucky that there is someone there taking care of it.
Those were international politics students in Beijing talking with ITN's Lindsay Hilsum.